Hey, what's up? This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in this video, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the response letter to stop debt collectors from coming after you. Uh, we always get new people watching the channel, and I want to help them or yourself if you have a new debt collector coming after you. Use these letters that I give you because it can help get you into a better position to get them to stop coming after you. And then we're going to talk about, are you fighting yourself from having good credit? I know that sounds crazy, but I want to talk about this because uh, number one, it's my channel, and I promised on my intro video it's going to be more than just the technical aspect of repairing credit. That we're going to also get into the mindset, which I believe the mindset is 70% of doing of credit repair. It's really 70% because what happens, a lot of people quit. When it gets tough, they quit. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to direct you to a free audio or that well, to an audio, not for free. I'm going to be asking for donations on it. It's helps you reduce stress. It's audio. I was cleaning up in my library and I found one of the audios that I made back in 2001. Uh, I am a certified hypnotherapist, not practice on myself. But I had made this audio. It was for stress reduction. You know, the way things are right now, I made this more than 11 years ago, but this is something that a lot of people need. Back at that time, we were, it was 9/11. It was around that time, and I had made this audio to help people uh, reduce stress, and it's a good audio. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. You get that debt collection letter from a debt collector saying that they're attempting to collect a debt. You get scared. You're like, what's going to go on? You look at the letter and you say that's from that uh, credit card account that I had a couple of years ago. It's like, oh man, what am I going to do about this? I don't want them to come get my money. I don't want debt collectors calling me. I don't want them threatening and calling my job. I don't want them calling my friends and family and neighbors. I want to, what can I do? And then you end up typing on Steve's YouTube channel. Uh, I get a lot of that. They're like, what can I do about this? I talk about it a lot, that it's emotional. Like, I'll make a video, a person can watch the video, and then like weeks later, it happens to them, and then they it's like they lose their mind, they forget, and they just, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And that's why I repeat it. I'm so repetitive. I know some people don't like it, but that's the way it's going to be because uh, when things happen to people, they get emotional and they start to forget. You don't know what's going to happen once it happens to you. And even if it's happening to you right now, you may be so depressed in your actions, that you're just waiting for the hammer to drop. Like you're reaching out, you're watching, but you're not taking action. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Are you fighting against yourself? So let's talk about the letters. I give you three letters. The link is below here to get the three letters, so don't jump and go get them yet. You're going to be able to get them. Let me just go into detail about them. The first one is the cease and desist collection activities, or I have it labeled cease and desist debt collection attempt. This is a letter that's going to put them on notice, number one, because you're going to send it certified. Number two, that you're not going to just let them walk all over you, that you're going to make them have to prove, number one, by law, that they can even come after you for it. And then number two, every aspect of the debt. Like if you really just, like peel the onion back and you say, just what is the root? What is the root of this whole thing? When a debt collector is coming after you, the root of it is, can they prove? Can they prove? And will they be willing to go the extra mile to prove? The, the, the the easiest time to get them to stop is at the beginning, because once you start investing money, they're going to go into a mode of, will this individual quit, which goes into the mindset that we'll talk about later. Will this individual quit if we continue, or should we just quit because we know that we have a problem with this debt? Like, some of these are problems, and maybe this could be one of those problem ones, and we're going to end up losing. So you want to send that letter to them to make them know that you're not going to be like the thousands of other people that are not going to talk about what they have to prove. See, you're not running. You're just saying, hey, if you're going to come after me for this debt that you purchased, it's going to be required that you are going to have to uh, prove every part of that debt. It's not going to just be this easy, this easy thing that you might have with other people that that you're coming after for debt. It's not going to be easy. So the first one is this: request cease and desist debt collection attempt. You send it certified, fill in all your info. I have it highlighted in red what you need to fill out. Do it. It stops so many debt collection companies from coming after people. Um, the big ones, the small ones, this letter really does work. And then part two of that is if you get a response from them, then it's going to be the back and forth where you're going to go into more detail about, hey, prove to me that you're authorized to collect debt in my state. Prove to me that you followed everything in the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Prove to me that the debt that you purchased, that you really did purchase. Prove to me the original contract. Prove to me with my signature. Prove to me the balances. Prove to me the interest rate. Prove to me that any payments that I had paid was credited. Now, think about that. All of that stuff, they have to get that information from the original creditor, because they have no right to even just have that information. So prove to me, even with my personal data, that you even have permission to use my personal data. I mean, to have access to my personal data. That's one of the comebacks that we have with them, especially when we write responses in court, because they usually don't have that. What they end up getting is just a big batch of debt, and then they get an affidavit from someone with that credit card company, and then it never has your name specifically on there. It never has your full account specifically on there. Uh, they're just getting that batch. Now they might get some type of document, and you got to be careful. That document could be prepared by them, because I've never seen an original creditor make the document that'll look like they have information on your specific account, but it's really something that's prepared by them. Portfolio or Midland, one of them, made a video a few weeks back, got in trouble for actually making that document. Be very careful when they're sending documents back and they're trying to make it look like it's the original creditor that made the document. So you might, if you get something like that, you want to challenge them and say, number one, it's going to be redacted too. And it's usually redacted because they don't have the full account number. They'll redact it because they don't have the full account number, so they want to make it like they're hiding the complete account number when they don't even have the complete account number. And you're also asking for that. So you want all of that information. And then you're sending that to them, and then you're just going back and forth. I'm telling you, when you're doing this, number one, when you do the first letter, when you do the first one, this is something that happens with debt collectors, uh, is that it'll usually take them 90 days to resolve that. There was a young lady that we just made a call for, that she just said she don't have the time. She wanted to have our company help resolve the debt. She's a credit repair customer. She wanted us to have her son was going to help her resolve a debt, very small, like about $800, and she wanted to break it up into 4 payments. We did a debt validation for her, and we said we wanted them to respond to that before she had decided, hey, my son said he'll help, so I can just move on. She knew she owed the debt. And when we called in, they said, well, we have 90 days on that dispute. We're not even going to do nothing for 90 days. And I was thinking to myself, why would you even wait 90 days to even finish the dispute? And then, I didn't say that to him, but he had said that, they literally have thousands of people that they're working on. And once it gets disputed, it takes up to 90 days to be resolved, have some type of response. What I'm thinking is that for our particular request, which is what I give you in this letter, is that it was so detailed that they know that they're not going to be able to respond. So they're going into, let's see if the person will quit. If they're just going to say, after 90 days, forget about it, we move forward and do what we're going to do. They have to be very, very careful that they don't try to pull that stunt on you. So I give you those letters below here. Uh, the link is below here. Use those if you have debt collectors coming after you. Now, let's move into, are you fighting against yourself having good credit? Are you fighting against yourself? And what I mean by that, are you, if we were to, uh, on a piece of paper, put on one side of that piece of paper where you are right now, where your credit is right now. And then I want you to imagine on that piece of paper, and you wrote on that piece of paper where you want to be. Say you want to have an 800 credit score. I have people that write me emails and they say, Steve, I want to have an 800 credit score. What should I do? And I tell them what I'm about to tell you right now. Um, First thing I say, you got to get in the mindset of having a credit score of 800 or whatever, higher, whatever number you put for yourself. And everybody has their own number. Used to be 720. Remember those days? Now it's in 800. So I say first you got to do the mindset. They said, well, what do you mean by the mindset? I say you got to be the person of that score. And there's still some people are still shaking. Like, what do you mean? Like, if you're at this score right now, you're at. I'll pick one. A person signed up Friday that's at a 450 score. I haven't seen too many scores in the 400s lately, but this individual is a 450, and they want to be in the 800s. So how do you, if you're of the mindset, and when you're at 450, trust me, you're of the mindset right now. I'm not saying that that's you, but what I'm saying is that a person who is at the score, whatever your score is, I'll just say it like this. Whatever your score is right now is the mindset of that score. You're of that mindset. I'm not saying that you are that type of person. I'm saying that your mindset of where you are is of that score, wherever it is right now. You deserve that score based on your thinking. So if we had that piece of paper and we got where you are now and you got you want to be at 800 score. And then we put these little lines in between and we say, let's just write down some things. We don't have to put them all on there, but let's just write down some things that a person would have to do to get all the way there. You write those things down. In my mind, I'm just going to give you some ideas. Well, number one, you got to repair your credit. What do you got to do? First thing you got to do to repair your credit, you got to get your credit reports. You got to get your scores, know where you're exactly where you're at. And then when you have your reports and your scores, you have to look at what items are on there. And then when you have those items, you got to look at how do I need to attack each item, like a decision process has to be made. There's people that have signed up for our service and they were afraid to go through that part. So how can that person of that mindset get to even having a repaired credit? How can they even get from there to there if they're not even willing to do that little piece? How can they do it? They can't do it. So that's what I'm saying. Are you fighting against yourself? Or because if a person writes down all these things, you could just write down everything that you think you would need to do to get to that score. And when you're at that score, write down all of the benefits in your life and how you're going to be living your life. The if you got the fancy car, the big house, the low interest rates, business. You just have the confidence. You know, if you walk in, you're going to get approved. You put some of those things on that side. And then you had that piece of paper. And then so you wrote it all down. And then what you do is you fold that piece of paper just like this. What that identifies and what that identifies for an individual is that really to be where you want to be, all you have to do is change your mindset. Because all of those little things in between, all of those things that are in between are going to disappear when you fold that up and you're at 800. Really, think about it. If you do the things that it takes to get there and you do things from start to finish without quitting, regardless of what roadblocks get in the way, you will become the person with that new mindset. So really, what most people do and what you might be doing that will keep you from getting to that position is that you're fighting against yourself. And I'm not saying that I'm any different than you. I'm just like you. There are things I've had very big successes in my life. And then there's some other things where it was like when I think about it, they're just like it's me fighting against myself. It's like, why fight against yourself when you know, number one, you're going to enjoy, you're going to have a better life. It doesn't even, we're not even just only talking about credit. We're talking about just enjoying life. Like when last year when my wife took me and she said, I want to get an RV because we're going to drive around and we're going to enjoy life driving around. I had to transplant. I'm afraid to fly. I can't even fly for 2 years after the transplant or 1 year after the transplant. And I don't even know if I'm going to be feeling that comfortable to fly right away anyways. That she said, let's get this RV. And then I, internally, I was like about to fight it. And then I thought to myself, we very successful business. We have the money. You need to enjoy life. Why fight against yourself? And it was one of the best decisions I ever made because when I leave in that RV and I sit back and I drive it and then I get to where we're going to and I sit back, it is like the most enjoyable experience that I've ever had. My grandkids are with us. My daughter and son-in-law, they have their camper and we all meet up. Very enjoyable. And it's like, why would I want to fight that? And I see a lot of people when it comes to credit repair, I see these types of fights where either they don't want to go through the process of even knowing what has to be done because they're afraid, or they fight back by just saying that won't work because it didn't work at another time. How many things in life have we seen that worked for other people and it didn't work for another set of people? That's the mindset. You take in and put in what you think about. If you go into something negative, you're giving yourself what you want, the reactions, everything that comes back, the result. You're getting what you wanted. We just had a husband and wife couple, local. True story. Husband and wife signed up we for credit repair. The husband, very negative. The wife, I don't want to say positive, but she was like neutral, like just do and you know just do what you got to do and just keep doing it. Would you believe that the wife had, I think, 12 deletions and the husband had zero after 2 months? And I was like, there's got to be something that was done wrong. Like, let me look at the paperwork. Why did this happen? They're sharing the same accounts. She even had worse stuff on hers. When we added up what the collectors said that they were not going to come after her for, it was over $5,600. $5,600 that where they said we're not even going to come after you. It's off your reports, and we're not going to come after you for the money. And we were like, I was like, I got to review this. Was something done wrong? Did we send out his stuff when we sent out our stuff? Yes, they signed up at the same time. And then I talked to them on the phone, and I had overheard them talking to one of my customer service reps. And then I said, let me speak to him real quick. And while I was speaking to him, I knew, I didn't say it, but I knew exactly what it was. Negativity. Let me tell you, folks, being negative will ruin your life. Being negative will ruin the good things that can happen to you. All you have to do is, you want to test if being negative will hurt you, it will materialize. Like, people rarely believe that if they think positive and good things that they will materialize. Like, they don't, for some reason, we as humans sometimes don't believe. We want and we say, but we don't deep down believe sometimes that good things can happen, and then that good things can keep happening. So if something good that happens, we can start thinking that something bad has to happen. Remember Murphy's Law: good, 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 bad. And then people feel good because they're like, I knew that it couldn't be good all the time. Yes, it can be. I used to go through this in business where I would be like, it's been too damn good, something bad has happened. It don't have to. And if something bad happens, it happens and you move on. Same thing in life. But this individual was so negative, and like, you just got to watch out for that. But you want to test something. Be negative today and see how many negative people will come back to you. Test it out. Because I think that more people are willing to test something negative than they are something positive, because positive comes with disappointment. If you test and say, I'm going to be negative because I want to see if Steve is right, will someone be negative? If no one negative comes at you, you're not going to be disappointed. But if Steve tells you to be positive for the next 30 days and give yourself a true chance and allow roadblocks and hurdles to come about, and you just go over them and you keep going, a lot of you will be too afraid to go down that road, because number one, you don't know what type of hurdle might come. I can't tell you what the hurdles will be. The hurdle is different depending on your mentality. If the hurdle was easy, everyone would just jump right over it. But the hurdles are going to be specifically tailored towards you and what you've been going through for your life. So if we fold that piece of paper up now, as that I've attached that to it, how many of you would fold that piece of paper up comfortably and move forward? Not too many of you, because if you fold that paper up and you make that commitment, that means that no matter what roadblock comes up, I got to get my credit reports. I got to read those credit reports. I got to resolve and make a plan for each item on those credit reports. And then, regardless of what it is, I have to deal with it, regardless of what way ends up happening. With us, with the credit repair shop, we say you validate using our 8-point validation process, and you can end up doing a settlement. How many of you, if we said, hey, we've done what was supposed to be done, this company proved that you're going to have to pay, got all the paperwork, everything to prove it, this is the next step. How many people would not make that next step? A lot of people won't. That's why we have so many people that fail at credit repair, because credit repair, to go from A to Z, will potentially have settlement, necessary settlements to get to Z, period. If I was to say, what is the way to repair credit? Number one, get your mind right. Number two, do everything that it takes to get there. And it's not about just running away from debts that you have to pay. You're gonna have to resolve them, or you're gonna have things that are just hanging out there on you. All right, so now let's get into the free. Well, I keep saying free. I want to get you to get a donation on this. It's worth it. I want you to donate on this. I had made this audio. It's called Stress Reduction for Longer Life. This is back in 2001. I made this audio, and I had made it for my at that time I had a program where I was actually helping people to quit smoking. I had made this audio, and people would come to me and they would say, I want to quit smoking, and they didn't want to take any types of pills and patches and all that type of stuff. And I would make this audio, and it would just relax them, and they would listen to it over time, and they would wean down from cigarettes. But one of the things that came about with that was that a lot of people said I smoke because of stress. And I was like, okay, so we need to have attached to that audio that will help them with the stress. And then 9/11 had happened, and I was like, there's also with this uh, this audio is good for people that are under stress for what had just happened with our country. And then fast forward all the way now to 2022, and for what people have really been going through for years, this audio is still relevant to this day, still relevant. And I just listened to it, and I listened to it before I decided to post it up, and it was like, this is something that people need. You will listen to my voice. You will, I don't want to say hypnotize you, but I will fully relax you. You'll be fully relaxed from head to toe. And then I will allow you to allow yourself to release things that you feel are either depressing you or stressing you. I'm not telling you to get rid of those things, because there's no need to get rid of anything like depression, anything like stress, the actual thing. What it is you need to allow it to go through you and release, because we all have to experience those things, or we wouldn't be human. You'd be a robot. The secret is, how do you allow those things to affect you moving forward? How long do you hold on to those things and let them affect you from moving forward? That's what the difference is. That's what the difference is. That's what I do for my life. That's what I did for those clients at that time, and that's what I want to do for you. So thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Subscribe to the channel. Ask your questions. I was in there today answering questions. Post your comments. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. And then if you need your credit reports and scores, so you can know what's on there, the charge-off dates, all that stuff, go to the website, your3scores.com. And then below here are links to the stress reduction for longer life audio, and cease desist collection activities letters, statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and links to my website. Thank you for your time. Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.